Hello and welcome to today's episode of pianoTV. I am Allysia, your host, and today's episode is going to be a little bit different because it's not so much exploring a musical topic that we tend to do like history or listening to music or things like that. Not a tutorial, anything like that. What we are going to do is we are going to talk about something really exciting that is going on in September. And I've never done anything like this before, so I'm really hyped for it. I wanted to create something to kickstart us for the school year because I find even as adults, there's something about the start of September that just feels like a clean slate and a fresh start. In September, I am opening up a course for each of the 30 days of September, and we'll talk all about that. This video is basically going to be walking you through what this course is going to look like. It is a paid course, so I want to say that up front. I will continue to put up 2 videos a week on YouTube as per usual because it's, I'm just going to keep doing that for the foreseeable future. That's just what we do here. But if you wanted to kind of kickstart your September with other adults and join a group of like-minded individuals, then keep watching. Let's get into the details. Okay, so let's start with the absolute bare bone basic details. What I'm talking about, what is going to be actually going on in September. For each one of the 30 days in September, I am going to be doing a live lesson. This lesson is going to be occurring at 6 o'clock p.m. CST. Anyway, all this time zone stuff really doesn't matter too much because we're going to be using the platform Zoom. Now, Zoom is it's a better Skype as far as I'm concerned, but it's a really good online platform for meetings. So what will happen with Zoom is I will be the host of a live piano lesson, essentially, and we can have a lot of people join. It could work just as well if there's 4 people or 400. And it's got some really cool functionality. You have the ability to ask questions, raise your hand, we can do polls. So I am going to be implementing some of the more interactive elements of Zoom. And it's cool too because you can use it on your mobile device, you can use it on your laptop, your desktop, whatever you kind of happen to have on you. And I've used it quite a few times and I really like it, which is why I'm going with it for this course. Now, when Zoom sends you the invites for the calls, it'll adjust for the daylight savings time and stuff like that, so you'll know when to join the call. I just wanted to let you know up front so that if you are in Europe, most of our European viewers are going to be kind of screwed for the time zone issue, just because I have to go with my schedule and not everyone is going to win, unfortunately. So the time zone thing is going to favor our North American friends, and I think Australia, it'll be the morning for them. So, however, and this is a gigantic however, even if you can't attend live, I'm going to be recording each of the calls, each of the live lessons, and ideally posting them the same day that they are recorded. So if we have a live lesson at 6 p.m., I'm hoping that all the processing and everything will make it so that you can have the video by 9 p.m. So if it's the middle of the night and you're up, you should be able to wake up the next morning and have it available for you to watch. And when you purchase this course, and we'll talk about price and stuff like that in a moment, you will have access to these lessons for an entire for forever, basically until pianoTV dies, and let's hope that's many years from now. Okay, so in these 30 days, what are we going to be doing? Who are these videos going to be geared for? I did a poll of my, those of you who are on my mailing list would have seen this, but I asked you guys to participate in a survey. And I said, if you are interested in doing a course like this, just answer these 5 little questions. I wanted to know what level people were mainly at. And the overwhelming majority of you guys are beginners-ish, at least on the mailing list. So that means maybe you've been playing for a year or 2, or you've been playing for longer than that, but you feel like you don't have a good grasp on the fundamentals. So that was the largest category of people. So that's who I'm going to be serving with this 30-day live video thing, is people who have maybe a little bit of piano experience, but aren't super confident. They're not yet at the intermediate level. Now, if you're an absolute beginner, I created a starter guide, and this is something that I'll have linked below so you can check it out. It is a PDF where I condensed all of the mandatory lessons, the things that I think you would need to know in order to follow along this course. So even if you're brand new and you're not sure, like, do I know like the bare minimum to make sense of this course? That's what this guide is going to do. And you don't have to join the course to get the guide. The guide is free for everyone. It's a PDF file, so check that out. I think it's about 8 lessons, and it utilizes some of the sheet music and videos that I've created on this channel years ago now at this point. So every day is going to be a 30-minute lesson. I'm going to keep it a little bit flexible, but I'll try to stick to 30 minutes best I can. Because I mean, we're busy people. I can't be like promising you it'll be 30 minutes and then go off on like an hour and a half tangent. So that's the goal, 30 minutes, give or take maybe 10 minutes, a little longer if we're having a good session or whatever. I've already planned out the lessons for each of these days, and every day is going to involve some type of technical exercise, which you'll have the PDFs for. And there are going to be several pieces that we learn throughout the series. 9 to be exact, actually, which seems like a lot, but I think about 4 of those we actually learn in earnest and we do a lot of playing around with, whereas the other 5, I might have the numbers up a little bit, but the other 5 are more like supplementary. So these are the pieces that we use. You can practice them if you want, but they're meant as like a side study. And I do this with my piano studio students as well. So what you'll be doing is we'll be going along and talking about a variety of topics because you guys have broad interests. We're going to be playing some classical music and some pop music. I wanted to keep a pretty even balance. We're going to be talking about chords a lot, scales and chords, and applying them to pop music. So a lot of you are confused about how to make, say, your left hand interesting when you're playing a pop song. We talk about lead sheets, we talk about making chords more interesting, so you're not just like playing solid chords the whole time. We talk about some variations there, but we also talk about how to take those concepts and make them relevant if you're learning classical music. And classical and pop music are not distant relatives. I think they're very interconnected, and having a deeper understanding of pop music will give you a deeper understanding of classical. So we are going to be exploring those threads. Like I said, every single day is going to have a new technical exercise PDF. You're going to have 9 pieces that we'll be working on throughout this. But I also want to take like the occasional breather, and there's going to be, I think, about 5 days that we just chat. We chat about a topic, something like, say, goals. Setting goals, planning. We are going to have a day where we talk about time. Some of you talk about wanting to practice piano an hour a day, but then you put it off and put it off and put it off because it seems like too long, and then you've practiced 0 minutes a day. Some of you talk about having families and not knowing when you can practice when you have like screaming kids and stuff, and that is one that hits close to home for me. So anyway, some of the days are going to be more conversational style, but for the most part they're all going to be very practical and hands-on, because I want you to, at the end of this 30 days, feel like you have a whole new toolbox of ideas on how to practice, techniques that you wouldn't have had before. I want you to have access to a community. There's going to be a private Facebook group that's going to go along with this. This is something I'm really excited about too. Zoom, the platform that we're putting the videos on, is awesome in that it has a chat function. But if there's too many of us, it's almost impossible to actually chat with each other through this medium. So that's why I wanted to do a private Facebook group for the course, so that you guys can share maybe videos of yourself playing, or you can ask questions, have some camaraderie with fellow adult students of all ages and walks of life. Now, 30 days of lessons all in a row is really, really intense, and I've thought about that. And not all of you are going to be able to commit to doing like literally all 30 days in a row, although some of you will, and I encourage you to. I'm one of those people that's like, go hard when you're doing something like that. But you can do this at your own pacing. Like I said, the videos are going to be available forever. So even if you get the course and you participate in a few live calls here and there, you can go at your own pace. You can do it in 60 days. You can do it in 365 days. You can do them all this month and then do them all again next month. You can do them however you want. I'm trying to structure this as best as I can so that even if you miss a day or 2 or 3, you can jump on a live call. Like say you missed lesson 5, but you're around for lesson 10 and you want to join that one. You should still be able to join it and have it not be like a complete mystery. It is going to build on itself a little bit, like some of the lessons do build on each other, but I want it to still be approachable even if you're kind of, like coming in with some gaps. At the very least, you will be able to do a few scales or exercises. I tend to be a very organized person. I'm just a little bit like type A. I like having checklists and I already said that, an organization. So I want to be able to offer you the same thing. I've already planned the 30 days because I wanted to have a good overview of how we're going to do this. But what I'm going to provide for you, in addition to the technique PDFs and the sheet music PDFs, is also a full day-to-day checklist PDF file. So every lesson will have its own page that kind of condenses the core concepts, what we worked on, what we learned, just to kind of help you keep track of at an overview level of what we're working on. Just because for me that helps me think, and I just assume some of you probably think like me too, and you would find that useful. The next thing that I want to talk about with you guys is pricing. And this is the part that I really struggled with because I wanted to be very fair. I wanted to offer you something that I thought would make you think wow, this is going to be so valuable that it would be insane for me to not pay this price. But at the same time, I didn't want to undersell myself. I didn't want to create something that I felt devalued what I had to offer, because the reality is I've created so much free content for pianoTV. I'll say up front, I'm pricing this at $97 USD. I was actually quite torn between 97 and 197. I think 197 still would have been fair, but I think 97 is a deal, just with everything that you're getting. Since pianoTV is free, everything we create is free. When I sent you guys an email, those of you who are on the mailing list, I did some math, and there's something like 500,000 words of blog posts on the website, which is bigger than George R.R. Martin's Dance with Dragons, the Game of Thrones, that big, thick, crazy thick book. That's 2.5-3 days of content if you were to stop sleeping and watch it all through. And we are going to keep doing all of this free content, 2 videos a week for the foreseeable future, which means if you are pressed for cash and this is a little steep for you, that's okay. There's lots of free content on the website that should still be able to help you and guide you. You're not going to miss out. I will do things like this in the future as well. So where I was coming from with the $97 is this is going to include 15 hours of content. That's a quarter of what already exists on the entire pianoTV YouTube channel. So it's a huge amount of content because we're doing 30 minutes a day, which totals 15 hours in the entire month. Not to mention that you're also getting the PDFs for the pieces and the technique, and we're going to have the private group, which is going to give you a little bit of access to me. I can't guarantee how active, I'm not going to be able to post on the Facebook group for hours a day, but I'll be able to drop in and say hello and stuff. So you're going to be getting all of that, and I feel I really, all things considered, could not in good conscience go lower than 97. And if you think about $97, if I were to teach in my studio, it would be almost triple that, what I would charge for actual in-person lessons with me, group or one-on-one. It would be more expensive as one-on-one. It's basically the price of a cup of coffee a day. For what you're getting, I really, really, really think it'll be worth it. I don't want to dwell too much more on the price thing, but I just did want to explain to you some of my reasoning and some of the, the thoughts I was having about it. And also keeping in mind that this is a new thing for me to do too. I haven't ventured out into this space. But I wanted to set a price that I thought would be fair no matter how many people joined. So even if just 5 of you joined, I think it'll be fair and worthwhile. I'm hoping more than 5 of you join though. We'll become really good friends. I've already touched on some of the things you're going to be learning, but I will just kind of review that with you. So one thing we're going to be talking about is how to learn a piece of music from start to finish. And there's going to be 5 study pieces, 4 actual hands-on pieces we're learning. You're going to be learning how to use the left hand in a variety of ways, figuring out different alternatives to chords, make it sound more interesting. You're going to be doing a lot of technique, not so much technique that it takes over everything, but enough technique to noticeably improve your playing in 30 days. That's the goal. Bridging the gap between classical and pop music, which again, we've already kind of talked about. Topics such as goal setting, time, how to polish a piece, etc. We're really going to work on rhythm skills. That's going to be a big focus. We're going to touch on working with the metronome, different time signatures like 3/4. Basically, whatever rhythm issues I see happen over and over and over again in my studio, we're going to be talking about, because I feel like if it happens to all the adults that I know, it's probably happening to you guys too. The idea is to just take away some of the overwhelm that comes with being a piano student, especially if you're a piano student who doesn't have a teacher and you need a bit of guidance. So that's pretty much it. There is one more thing that I want to mention, and that is I'm throwing in a few bonus gifts for those of you who are going to be joining the course. First of all, this is the best gift, and it's a special little treat for my Patreon subscribers. You can find the link to the pianoTV Patreon page down below. You can check that out. Patreon is basically like a donation platform. So those of you who are on my Patreon who donate on a monthly basis, I wanted to give you something really awesome because I love you and you have helped pianoTV survive, basically. So I'm giving you guys my treasure chest. No, I'll just say what it is. I don't need to, it's awesome the way it is. I don't need to change the language. It is a database. It's an Excel spreadsheet of 2,500 songs from the RCM syllabus. Now, even if you don't know what the RCM is, it doesn't matter, because what this database is searchable by composer, by level, like grade, by genre. So if it's a list B, a list C, if it's, romantic repertoire, if it's classical repertoire, you can search by book and by publisher and so on. This is something that I've been using in my piano studio for years, and it's like one of the most valuable tools that I have. Anytime I'm not sure what someone should be learning, I reference this guide. If I have a student who's like, hey, I want to learn Beethoven, then I will sort by Beethoven, and it'll give me a good list of like, okay, what Beethoven books could we look at? What Beethoven pieces are appropriate for their level, and so on. So that's the Patreon bonus gift. For the rest of you who aren't on Patreon, I'm still going to give you guys a few things, including some of the videos, some of the pre-existing videos I've converted to audio format so that you can listen to them podcast style. And they're some of the more, what I would consider motivational videos, the ones that I feel like are going to help keep you pumped up and energized during the 30-day challenge, things that you can listen to as like supplemental pep. I'm also going to be sharing a collection of all of the beginner sheet music that we featured on this channel. Now, if you've done some of the beginner tutorials on this channel, each tutorial has its own PDF and you can download it on the page, but I thought it would be handy to have like an actual collection. So I think it's something like, I think it's around 59 pages of sheet music, everything that's on the channel. So if you're learning, I'm trying to think of some of the beginning level stuff we did. We did De Coloris. If you're learning that and you want a video tutorial, you can just like look it up on YouTube and you'll have the video guide, you'll have the sheet music, and it's all there in one convenient format. The editor of these videos is also a really great graphic designer, and he made these beautiful scale charts that I'm going to be providing as well as a gift. They are major and minor scales, they're printable, and they're just kind of like an easy reference for remembering your scale. So that'll be another gift as well. And then of course the starter's guide, which is available to everyone. I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but this is a guide to kind of get you up to speed before September starts, just to make sure you know the basics, because we're going into this assuming that you already know how to read music. Even if you're not fast at it, that's okay. That you know some of the basic rhythms and just, some basic musical concepts before we dive into this, because I don't want to spend time on the basics during the course. I want to spend time on more of the fun stuff. So with all of that being said, hopefully that has given you an idea of what this course is going to be all about. I really, really hope you join us. It's going to be super fun. Again, whether we have 5 people or 500, it doesn't really matter. It'll be really, really intimate if just a few of you join, but it'll be really abundant if lots of you join, and then we'll have more ideas and stuff too. And again, it's a cup of coffee a day. So I tried to make this so that it'd be really hard for you to say no to based on the value that you'll be getting. What we're going to be doing in the next video is I'll just be answering some questions that you might have about the course as well, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, I will let you check out the links below, the starter's guide, and all of that stuff. Oh, one more really important thing I forgot to mention is when this all starts. So obviously it's from September 1st to September 30th. I am going to be opening registration on Monday, which is checking my calendar. It is the 27th of August. On Monday is when I will open it. I'll hop on YouTube Live. I've never done that before, so hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. Hopefully it's user friendly. I think it's designed to be. But I'll hop on YouTube Live. I'll let you guys know that it's officially open. I'll leave the period of being able to join between the 27th and 31st. I think there's 31 days in August. So that's Monday to Friday. That gives you a full 5 days to figure out if you want to do it or not, including these next couple days. And then the Q&A video will kind of happen in the middle of all that. So if you want to join after the Q&A video, I'll be able to help direct you to that. Okay, now we're ready to go. Thank you so much for sticking with me for this video. I really hope you'll join us in September, and I'll see you next time.